All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Monday afternoon, January 29th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Great to see all of us collectively here live inside our trading room and on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. But of course, inside our trading room, we have Regine joining us here, Bill, got Leda, Lawrence joining us, and all of our students and members alike there. Great to see all of you. And with that, hey, heading into the afternoon right now, RVSN up again, another huge pop this morning, heading into this meeting right now. This is a more level 5 trade, though, in terms of volatility, how we kind of rank these trades over time, meaning that, hey, the bigger the spread gets, it's just going to become straight up untradeable to the point where there's just much greater risk than reward in terms of making an intelligent decision with our money. Intelligent, meaning, of course, this stock is still pushing up right now. And if you were able to get in from the morning session off a big iceberg level, off, maybe a big resistance from last week's chart, okay, that's one thing. But now with this up another 87% from just last week's closing price, it looks like it's approaching resistance here back from earlier in last year's, candle back from like basically this time last year. Was this like a cyclical thing? Every late January, early February, literally 52 weeks ago here, to this day, we ended up seeing this make its run up here towards the high of 1984. And now, hey, it's obviously shaking back down a bit here. So going into the afternoon, I obviously have to kind of put this on our watch list. Just I'm going to probably put it on the end towards the bottom. I want to find stocks that are a lot more liquid, easier to trade, maybe that aren't up, like 800% in the last 3 or 4 trading days. For what goes up will come back down. So, I'm going to put this more on our list, more show and tell, as we kind of say here. Just look at CRBP, right? CRBP back from Friday last week had a huge pop, great move, but it got to a point where it was just untradeable. It was still moving up, mind you, but the spread was 25, 30 cents. Just as just a point where you don't want to trade it. And normally what makes the percent gainers list one day for like a pharma company, low float pop and drop stock, well, it's going to make that drop off the following day, right? So obviously look at this here right now. But yeah, going into the RVSN, geez, the news out on this for anyone that's curious. Let me just at least get the news headline right from Benzinga Pro. By the way, folks, really quick, we have a huge event lined up tomorrow. If you're on YouTube right now, make sure that you're subscribed and followed to @CyberTradingU. Got a huge event lined up all together. So for all of our students inside our live trading room, we'll send you the actual link right there that you can click on. But just be a friend, tell a friend, just subscribe right on our YouTube stream @CyberTradingU. With that, though, check out Benzinga Pro tomorrow with our Traders Talk workshop that I'll be conducting. So RVSN, this is actually an affiliation with another company called Foresight. So FRSX, but mainly this one here, RVSN. They ended up having some deal where they're securing the rights and approval certifications for the EU, European Union Railway Standards. So, I guess some company locked up some big rights with the EU with that in mind and led to a big pop last week, but you can't keep expecting more or guaranteeing it. If you happen to see it up on the morning percentage wise and it's up 3-4% pre-market or it's trending up heading into the mid to late morning, okay, then there's the possibility, right? There's the thought of maybe this can make the run it made back from last week. So obviously here we are now. But hey, how about a trade that's just as good but much easier on the eyes, right? Lucid, LCID. So this trade, obviously a lot slower, but in terms of a trend, a move that it made across the morning, it can't really get any better than this. So this is one of two that I'm in right now from 320. We'd called this one out actually just before, after a couple of big iceberg orders showed up on the buy side here. I could possibly go into the NASDAQ Bookviewer here if I can and show you the orders right from there. Let's see. Yeah, so basically, if you could put your imagination to it, we've had this buyer out here, 142,000 plus shares, now at 328, but that same buyer has been kind of laddering their order up. They were at 326, 325, 323, 320 when I first, called it out. So since that point, it's been a great trade. Since the morning, it's been a great trade. It's going to be hard to pass this up once again, like the RVSN one, but this one a lot more tradable, easier to find support resistance, easier to manage. Obviously, a lot slower, but hey, that is no complaint when it makes us money. All right, so two decent trades, kind of a like what's that movie Twins with you got DeVito and you got Schwarzenegger. You got one like crazy volatile stock, and you got some like slow poke, inexpensive. It's like Twins, right? That movie. All right, so now with that aside, though, let's just go right from top to bottom here, see what we can grab. Right, it was Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger, that team, right? That movie. All right, ONMD. This one ended up running its course already. Pass on it here. Cheap stock. It's a pop and drop. I mean, all these are pop and drops, don't get me wrong, but it's already made its drop off, so there's no need to follow that trade again. You could have said the same with the Nexi back from a few weeks ago, and this morning had a nice pop once more, but just big spread, not as much of a quote unquote need to follow it. I was hoping to see a lot more out of this Pally trade heading into the early to mid afternoon. Ended up making a nice little drop off and bounced from $1 basically, moved up like 10, 12 cents, or actually not even hell, like 8 cents there. I wanted a lot more even from that point, but didn't get it, pulled back down. I mean, like 2 cents on the trade, 3 cents on it. I wanted a lot more, just, ended up going the other way there. So now at this point, we'll pass. CNXA. If I looked at the price column here, I wouldn't have clicked it. All right, let's see what else we can grab at least from here. Here's the FRSX stock. This is the one that's kind of in affiliation with RVSN, right? When this is as crazy as it is, unless if it's making a clear breakout, I'm not going to be as jumpy to follow this one, the FRSX. So if they were moving better, I would be, but not right now. IMBS, pass there. CDLX, not to be confused with CLDX, but pass there. CKPT, try saying that 3 times fast. Fate. Ooh, skipped over SoFi there. My scanner's refreshed on me. So SoFi, this one, if you want to send over any trades on that you took, like just any questions that you stumbled upon with this stock, not really like, as much winning trades, but if you have questions from this trade that you had, losing trades that you wanted to go over, kind of realizing like, well, what happened on this move? Why did it make the move that it made? We will cover this from top to bottom in Traders Talk tomorrow. But for right now, this is a slow poke here, right? Normally, we don't trade stocks like LCID and SoFi as frequent because they don't really offer us as much, on the trade. They're a lot higher float, which obviously is really good in terms of risk. It's lower risk, but they're much slower. So you got to find a happy medium. Ooh, this could be a nice happy medium. C4, right? This stock had made a really good pop for us back from the end of last year. Stock went from basically $1.50 up to like $8 or $9. And over its time, we ended up day trading it up and down. It's been a fun stock over time. And at least here today, it's up near 12%. I called it out off of 585, 586 price at first. It's been pushing up pretty steady. So I don't mind adding the C4 stock once more. Chuck calling out ALT. I'll get to that in just a little bit there. I saw that earlier. It made a better move in the morning. It was really slow heading into the early to mid afternoon, but if it's still holding near the highs, definitely I want to give it a look. All right, just skimming the rest of this gainer side here for right now. Holy smokes, this GOEV trade, obviously price aside, I'm just speaking in terms of we traded the stock maybe a year or two back. I didn't even realize how far off this thing fell. Holy crap, geez, this thing absolutely got obliterated back from the peak in 21 all the way down. I mean, again, we don't really trade these stocks below $1, so we took our eyes off it for really most of last year. I'm sure maybe one day we had seen it off at news and pre-market, dumped off, but oof, how the mighty have fallen, right? All right, so let's see if there's anything looking just as good on the loser side. Then we'll get to the chat here at the end. PBLA, crap. We'll pass on that right now. Honestly, a lot of these are crap because they're hard to borrow. They're just down big, and not as much as this to where maybe there's the thought of a dead cat bounce, but you don't want to hold your breath. If you tried earlier, obviously not too good. MNSO, Boyle, Tal. Tal, not a bad short from earlier today. I mean, if it was more downward here at this point, I would put it on our list. Ooh, Weight Watchers just got clipped here. dropped off for about like 20 cents, pushed back up briefly. It's shortable. It's down big. I could add this to our watch list, right? I could. All right, fine. Doesn't hurt me. Kind of put it near the bottom with the RVSN trade. So far, I like Lucid a lot. So far, I like that C4 trade a lot. Those are the two that really at the top of our watch list here so far. Go to EDU, all of these Chinese education-based companies just, floundering around here a little bit. Not too much happening. All right, so Scott asking on CRBP, I could already tell you that is way too thin. You should not be trading this type of stock right now at all. This thing is like a disaster. So it was back from Friday that we traded it. It was last week's flavor, and it was our flavor for maybe like 2 or 3 hours, and afterwards we threw it out. So pass. Let's see what else we got, though. ALT. Well, like we'd said, slow heading into the afternoon, like more recent afternoon, like mid-afternoon. Had a nice pop actually from the late morning into 12 o'clock. But hey, it's still near the high. So actually, I like this trade. It's not near the top of the gainers list. It's near 5%, so I like that. And yeah, we're going to add this Chuck, see if it can make one final push for us for right now. We are familiar with ALT on top, so it's not just, this given day. Thankfully, we have great experience with this trade. Thankfully, for now, the order book is fair, not a big spread. It's rather tight. Perhaps you want to see some of these orders, get larger a little bit here, more buy and sell orders alike showing up. All right, just one last look at Benzinga Pro before we call it a wrap here. Let me check the scanner here once more, folks. Keep in mind, tomorrow, huge event lined up tomorrow. It's almost like a triple header, so to say. My normal Trader Stock workshop at 11 o'clock Eastern time. That is as status quo as it gets, so no change there if you're Chuck or Bill, John, Margaret, all of us here inside our trading room. But otherwise, though, shortly after I finish up tomorrow, we'll have Benzinga Pro just coming on. A couple of educators from Benzinga Pro, the team there, going over how to use Benzinga Pro, benzinga.com, and macro markets all together. Just going over more kind of not as much day trading, but swing and macro. So look forward to it. We'll look to post that link once more in the chat. Well, right here, as we could see, though, not really a whole lot that's really changed. MDAI, I'll give one last look to here. Yeah, this thing's garbage. All right, so I think that that's just about going to do it, folks. Up and down. I think that we've gone through pretty much everything at this point, right? I feel like there's maybe like one or two I'm letting slip past me. I mean, Mara from earlier dove off, so that's a loser now. It's been, held support at 1850 for a little while, but we said it to, one of our students earlier, lower highs, it's going to make lower low more than likely. So that's what happened on that one. Rumble, hey, how about the second trade of men? Rumble, well, it's still kind of holding here. It's up over 5%. I don't mind adding it to our list in terms of a potentially tradable stock into the close. It's low risk for us to at least add this now, and had a good day. It's not really at the highs as much, but I mean, over the last 30, 40 minutes, it hasn't made as much a lower low. So I'm thinking maybe there's chance to see this make one more pop here before 4 p.m. All right, so hey, all in all, we got about 6 stocks to work with here. All right, so I'll be back on the mic right at 3 p.m. Class, we'd wrapped up phases 1 and 2 from last week. Tomorrow, we got phase 3, live trading with Fausto heading into the market open and close tomorrow. And Wednesday, you got myself for the afternoon at least there. But, nevertheless, that's the advanced class where Fausto is trading the market open and close. No better experience to learn and trade than seeing it from the man himself, 35 plus years with trading experience. And, really from there, he'll be your captain in those next 2 classes there, folks. All right, so, hey, I look forward to being in there at least tomorrow, but hey, for the next 15 or so minutes, I'll type out the list and I'll be back on the mic just at 3 p.m. here. All right, talk to you all soon.